instant karma's gonna get you. Gonna knock you right on the head. You better get yourself together. Pretty soon you're gonna be dead. What in the world you thinking of? Laughing in the face of love. What on earth you trying to do? It's up to you, yeah, you.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Daily Sweep. I'm your host, Anthony Longhair Leclair, and I'm joined by my fabulous co-host, the marvelous Marla, the Mouse McHardy.
What's up, everybody?
And we have a question for you. Did you know that
On this day
in 1970, the single Instant Karma by the Plastic Ono Band was released in the U.S.?
I did not know that.
Oh, there you go. Also, John Lennon had written, recorded, and mixed the track all in one day on the 27th of January 1970.
Well, shit, there you go.
Yeah, which is super easy to do now, because it's all digital shit.
Yeah.
But, like...
Slightly harder to do back then, because, you know, like, tape and analog, so...
Yeah. So, yeah, good on him.
Props to John for getting it all done in one day.
I'll be honest, you can hear it, that it was done in one day.
A little bit, but it's not like it's not in a bad way, though, necessarily.
Well, no, and also in terms of the music that came out in the 70s, it's not by any stretch of the imagination the worst song that came out. Also,
No.
I mean, I know some people aren't a fan of John Lennon, and I'm friends with some of them, but I'm a big fan of John Lennon's music. I know at least one person will be like, oh, yeah, you're a big fan of a wife beater? Like, okay, look, I'm a fan of his fucking music, Spencer. So, oops, did I say that out loud?
Yeah.
But, and then we'd have to have a whole debate of, can you still appreciate the music without, worrying about how horrible the person was as a human being? Will you still watch Roman Polanski's films or not, right? Like, I mean, it all comes down to that. Everyone's done something horrible. I'm not excusing anything they did, just so you know, just so everyone knows, because holy fuck. I don't need to have that heat, but
Don't
I'm
need
just
to open
saying,
that can of worms.
that's
there.
right. I mean, yeah, obviously, I don't approve of that kind of shit. I'm talking about the music. So let's talk about the music.
Yeah. Speaking of the music in this song, I always love the drums in this song. Like, the really, like, loud, punchy sounding drums. I don't know what they did to get that effect, but I love it.
I was going to use the drums as an example of how I know it was mixed, mastered, and, like, recorded, mixed, and mastered in one day. Because they are overpowering and unaffected. In a way that, like, because John Lennon has that staple, that effect on his vocals, right?
Yeah.
Which we used also for this cover, for the top and tail of this Daily Sweep. But the drums seem to be unaffected and just hammered in there, right? Like, they are fairly prominent in the song by comparison to any other part of the song. Even John Lennon's vocals. It's like, whoa. So it's funny. You're just like, oh, I love the drums.
I do.
And
I
like,
love it.
And like, yeah, I like the song, but to me, that's one of the things I'm like, oh yeah, because he's not a drummer, and I can hear that he did this song in one day because he was like, fuck it.
Pretty much.
My vocals are good. They have the right effect. The backing singing is good. Let's shoot this video. Who cares?
Yoko Ono's somewhere in the corner with a blindfold on, knitting, because,
As you do.
as you do when you're Yoko Ono.
Yeah. So that was on this day in 1970, the, basically the year that all four Beatles did their own solo shit, and George Harrison came out on top. But either way, that was on this day in 1970. On this day in 2020, we have another question for you.
We do have a question for you. And this one, like, I kind of have to think about the answer to this one, too.
I'm excited.
But it's, what are some of your musical pet peeves? Like, what is something that when you listen to a song will, like, turn you off of the song immediately?
Auto-tune.
Yeah.
Done.
Done?
Over. That's
Done.
it.
Okay, that's the episode.
No, for sure. And I talked about this on the single sweep that we recorded and put out yesterday. Check that one out if you want to hear some pop music by Toronto's own Leanna Chapman. But there was a thing that Cher did, and it was an awful thing. And that was to use auto-tune as an instrument rather than a tool
Yeah.
And she did it the one-off, and that's Life After Love, and that was a big hit, and it's still fucking played on the radio and whatever else. And I guess it's a cool enough song if you're into share music, so cool. But that then was taken by T-Pain, who then made it into an industry, and now, like, the pop standard is to have this fucking pitch perfect, no flaws at all, absolutely gorgeous singing that is inhuman and that is fairly robotic. I mean, it's all just digitalized pitch correction used to the nth degree. And like I was saying yesterday, I'll use Kesha as the example. She sang purposely slightly off key, out of tune, so that the auto-tune would correct it and give that extra effect on her vocals in her early stuff that made her big. And I just fucking hate it because I don't use auto-tune, and most of the money we make from doing music comes from playing live.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to throw auto-tune in there as well into the mix while we're trying to set up in like whatever shit mixer whatever bar has, right? Like, and yeah, I don't know. There's something about the actual human voice that is precious to me that I want to experience and hear. And so when I listen to music, that I have other pet peeves, I'm sure, musically, like techno offends me, but that's that's not a pet peeve. I guess that's just like my dislike of a genre. And there are some tunes that are catchy, and I kind of hate that sometimes, but it's just not my thing. So yeah, my pet peeve is auto-tune for sure.
Yeah, it's an interesting question for me because like I am a person who really listens to a lot of different genres of music. So like, if there is some genre of music that I don't necessarily like, there's always an exception of like a song or an artist that I like. So like, and I was thinking about it when you were talking, and I think for me, my biggest musical pet peeve is empty fucking lyrics. Like, lyrics of a song that I could give less of a fuck about.
So
like,
most music.
So, no, but like, what I'm saying, it's like, I don't want to hear about how much money you have. I don't want to hear about how many bitches
so you just don't
you're
like rap.
fucking in the club. I don't want to hear, like, yeah, I don't want to hear about how rich you are. Like, you know, I don't want to hear about how much you want to go out and dance. Like, it's, I don't know. To me,
you don't want to hear about dancing?
Okay, well, dancing is different. That one, like, if it's just the songs, like, everybody get up and dance, like, I want to see your hands, get up and dance, like, that, I'm like,
So you don't like Daft Punk?
Like, but that's the thing, is I actually don't mind Daft Punk.
I know, that's why I set you up.
Yeah, I know. Like, I think for me that's, like, a musical pet peeve, is, like, when people sing about, like, when people brag in their music, I really couldn't give a fuck about what you have to say. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm being a bit too harsh, but, like, it bothers me when people use music to, like, talk about all the fucking money that they have and, like...
I will say, or the people who sing about that who don't actually have it yet, but, like, play up that lifestyle as if that's where they are.
Yeah.
That kind of irks me. But, I mean, as you've said before and given me shit about, people can take on whatever persona they want.
That's the other thing, too. It's like, I can say that I hate all this stuff, but like I said, there's always exceptions to the rule. There will always be songs that, like, I'll listen to, like, oh, I kind of enjoy that, even though this person is talking about how much money they have. Like, I mean, typically that's not the case for me, but I'm sure there's a song out there somewhere that I'm like, oh, I don't mind this.
Yeah.
But
sorry.
yeah, no, I think for me that's definitely one of my, like, biggest musical pet peeves is when people just use music to brag about how much things they have, like, and it's just like, I don't really care.
Or even how many things they have.
Yeah.
So I love you.
I love you too.
But yeah, that it is kind of annoying, but then you have to think about, because I think without saying it, I think you described a lot of rap music. That I think you were kind of like, I want to say rap but it's not just rap.
But no, that's not the case for me necessarily, because there are rap artists that I absolutely enjoy. Like,
yeah. But the majority of the brag artists out there, I think I'm not fully offending the rap genre for saying this, are rap artists. And they exist otherwise. Like, I mean, the Stones have their fair share of songs as well that would lead to, or AC/DC even, or whatever else.
Well, I mean, it's like even a lot of pop music nowadays too. Like, people are like singing about how rich they are. Like, there's an Ariana Grande song I heard the other day, and I can't remember what the name of the song is, but like she's talking about all the stuff she has and like buying a house just for the closet, and like I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah. But that's the thing. So you get people like that. But then you have to take into context, is that lyric actually an empty lyric? It is to you because it doesn't land with you, because you don't jive with it, because it's like, oh, well, I have no grasp of something like that, because one, you're not even buying a house yet, let alone buying a house just for the fucking closet, right?
Yeah.
But then you have to think, sorry, I'm going to finish my point though.
Okay.
And then you have to think about, well, how did she start? Was she fucking broke as shit? I think she started young in Disney.
Yeah, she was a
Ariana
Disney
Grande,
star,
right? Okay,
yeah.
so, but like, what was her family from? What was her family life like? Blah blah blah. Like, all these artists, when they sing about this shit, I think a lot of that bragging or that talking about how they can do all this kind of stuff. One, I have to say, if they're already at that level where they're actually doing those things, good for them for actually singing about that shit, as opposed to, and I know that we disagree on this, as opposed to being like Springsteen level, I'm the working class dude who just wears like jeans and t-shirt and goes up and sings about the poor working class man while I'm making fucking millions of dollars and living in my high class place. Like, at least they're being straight up about how vapid their lives are. I have to, you know what I mean? Like, and to them, that lyric could mean something. I agree with you. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. It doesn't resonate with me because I don't understand that style, that life. But there is a justification. There could be potentially a justification for that.
I shouldn't say it's an empty lyric. I should say maybe it's just like, I don't enjoy music that people just generally brag about how much stuff they have. Like, that's for me a big turnoff in music. Yeah. Like, for sure. I don't know. It's
like I said, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like listening to it. It's just like, yeah. Look at all this money I have. Oh, I'm driving this Lambo. I got like fuck off.
Yeah, like,
you know. But and I think it's just because we're broke ass people in Northern Ontario who have none of that. Also,
like, probably about 90% of the people who listen to that person's music don't have that much money. Like, it's like they're not singing to the people that have all that money. They're like, oh, here are all my fans who definitely don't have this much money.
No, they're singing to all the people who aspire to that lifestyle, and most of which will never achieve.
Yeah, and I think maybe it just comes down to the fact that, like, when I am a person that when people buy things for the sake of them being expensive to show off their wealth, it really bothers me. And I think that probably what it comes down to for me. It's like, if I were to ever become a wealthy individual, I wouldn't go out and just piss away my money on buying like expensive shoes and handbags, because I don't see the point. Other than there's literally no point in doing that other than to show as a status symbol, this is how rich I am, this is how much money I have, that I can spend $5,000 on a purse. That's the only reason why people do that. And it bugs me, because you could do so much more with that money than just show off that you have money.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I think that's why, like, that's the root of why it bugs me when people do that in music, because I never understood the concept of showing off your wealth just to show off that you're rich. Like, yeah.
I mean, I agree. I think in that frame, we're both fairly practical people, and like even if you just take fashion for example, like, I don't give a fuck about clothes at all. Yeah. And like, I know we have a bit of a slight difference in that, because you're a little higher end on clothing than I am.
But also, I buy like about 80% of my clothes secondhand.
Oh, I know.
So,
no,
like,
I get it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
like, I mean, in terms of our give a fuck of like a particular fashion or a particular brand or whatever, or fucking thread count or whatever, like that, you're a little up on me on that one.
That's true.
But that being said, I give no fucks about that. I'm just super practical. Can I wear it? Will it, like...
You're like, I'm going to wear
my body
clothes to cover my body, essentially.
Will it keep me warm? You know? Like, that kind of shit. Like, whatever. And if I came into money, I'm pretty sure the only thing that would change in terms of, like, what I would have clothing-wise is that I'd be able to get, like, that military-style looking shirt that's, like, John Lennon-style thing. I'd be able to just get one, and it would still only cost me, like, $60, I'm sure. I just can't justify spending that money now.
Yeah, that's true.
And I would get a nice suit that's tailored to me. And I still wouldn't pay thousands of dollars for it.
Yeah.
Because I would rather spend that money on a place in the middle of fucking nowhere where I can just disappear and not have to worry about all the stupid shit people are doing elsewhere.
Exactly.
So, and then I'd have a fantastic bar. So, you know, practical things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, I guess we turn the question over to the audience now. What is something in music that is a pet peeve of yours? Like, what turns you off of a song?
Bass player isn't an answer.
But yeah, let us know in the comments. And also, if you have any music questions for us, please leave those down in the comments as well, because we're always wanting to answer your music-themed questions.
Yeah.
So, let us know.
And then we'll give you a shout-out on the podcast.
We will.
If you want.
We don't have to, but if you want us to, we will.
Yeah. So that's your daily sweep for the day. And we will be back tomorrow to sweep something else out from underneath the proverbial rug.
And we'll see you guys later.
Instant karma's gonna get you. Gonna look you right in the face. Better get yourself together, darling. Join the human race. How in the world you gonna see? Laughing at fools like me. Who on earth do you think you are? A superstar will write you off. And we all shine on like the moon and the stars and the sun. Well, we all shine on. Everyone, come on.
You should like and subscribe. If you like what we're doing, then you should like it. But then you should go to our YouTube channel, Swept Up, and you should subscribe, because we want to keep doing this for you, and that would help a lot. Thanks in advance. We love you so much.